Nothing in life should stay still forever. Change is natural, and seeking out new challenges defines the human spirit. So whenever it happens, if you get itchy feet, that's the time to trade up. Aleksandra is a club runner who's trading up to become a triathlete. She's being guided through the process by Joanne and Richard Isles from the New Forest Triathlon Centre. So far she's had her swimming assessed by top swim coach Dan Bullock and learnt she needs to build up more strength on the bike. As a runner, she's not going to have to worry about that discipline, but she was concerned that riding and swimming would impact on her run fitness, something Joanne was quick to acknowledge.
I think once she gets her mind around the fact that she's going to have to sort of sacrifice a little bit on the running, especially in terms of getting some more training on the bike, I think that's going to be the main battle. But I think she's probably got a head start on a lot of people in that she has got that background of an endurance sport.
After a busy weekend being assessed by Dan and Joanne, Aleksandra has a lot to reflect on, and now has a far better understanding of the work that lies ahead. A quick look at the Swim for Tri footage that Dan gave her at the end of the session confirms exactly where that work lies.
I think looking at this swimming tape, it looks like the main focus of the training is going to be getting the swimming right, because there were a lot of things wrong with it. And I know the cycling, I haven't done very much of it, but it seems like it has, I've got quite a sound base, and I haven't got much strength in my legs, but that, that will develop. I haven't got any problems with cycling, but I certainly have got problems with swimming. Now looking at this tape, it looks quite shocking actually.
Does that mean that the swim training is going to be your main focus? I
think the swim was much worse than I thought, unfortunately. I've got to get the technique right, and improving the technique will mean that I don't have to spend so much effort in doing the swim bit of the try, so I can save energy to do for the cycle and the run, which are the biggest part of the triathlon. I just really need to get this swimming to the point where I don't thrash around, and I can go through the swim smoothly. But on the positive side, I mean, this session with Dan, just one session, shows just how much you can improve your technique by concentrating on particular aspect of it, and the fact that within that 1 hour I've been able to improve my stroke rate and my catch, and now it's just a question of reinforcing this learning. But I had to get the feel for how it what it felt like in the pool, and that was a really useful session.
After the assessment weekend, Aleksandra hit the ground running, if you pardon the pun. She's been busy working on her swim technique and implementing Dan's training tips and drills. A period of fine weather has allowed her to get in some good miles on the bike, focusing particularly on Joanne's advice about building strength. And she took part in the Eastleigh 10k road race, which was important to reassure her that the swim and bike training weren't harming her run fitness.
I think my running is on track, really. I feel quite strong, even though I haven't been specifically training for a 10K, so I feel quite strong, really. I'm pleased. The run will only be 5K for triathlon, so it should be okay.
The moment Aleksandra has been dreading has arrived. She's come to Open Water Swim UK near Heathrow for her first taste of open water swimming in cold water.
I come from Croatia, from a little tourist resort on the Mediterranean coast, on the northern coast of Croatia, and our summers were spent literally on the beach, and I'm not very good with the cold. The water temperature has to be at least 22 degrees before I go in, and that used to happen in June, late June, July, when we were at home. So the prospect of 14-degree water where you can't see the bottom just really scares me at the moment.
To help Aleksandra conquer her fears, we've arranged for her to meet Olympic triathlete Emma Davis.
What you say to people is you just have to think it's a big swimming pool. There's nothing,
that's right.
It's not different, it's the same, and there's nothing scary going to come up and get you, you know, it's perfectly safe. So just not to panic is really the key. And especially when you first get in and it's very cold, and everyone has this cold reflex where it's different levels for different people, but you get in and you have this and everyone panics, especially if there's someone shouting go or a gun at you, you know, you're always going to be panicking. So you have to just make sure that you take the first few 100 meters to get into it and then start pushing yourself. You don't want to go sort of from the gun and then after 100 meters be drowning at the back.
I know.
So it's really just don't panic, it's fine. And you know, what you can do is you put the tip of your nose in and to the water first, and then very slowly lower your whole face in, and there's a nerve in your nose that gets your face used to it quicker.
Oh, that's really good advice.
So you look a bit funny, but
just keep the nose in.
Yeah, for a few minutes, and then just gradually lower your face in, and it helps to reduce the panic.
Oh right, fantastic. Thank you for that. I'll have to remember that.
I haven't seen you swim, so I don't know how confident you are, but if you're not so confident in the water, you want to start more towards the back of the pack. And do you know which side you breathe to mostly?
Yeah.
Which side?
Left.
So if you breathe to the left, you want to start with the pack to your left, so at the right back of the pack. Okay. So when you start off, you're breathing and you can see everyone, and you don't feel that you're all alone or that you're going to swim into someone and not notice. And just take it gently. And there will be a bit of getting battered about, but as long as you don't panic and you realise that no one is trying to grab you and drown you, I mean, it's fine. It always happens, and it happens even in the elite races that you get punched or you get fingernails. But if you start at the back and to the right, it will definitely help to reduce that rather than starting at the front and getting swum over. But if you find that you're starting to get a bit more confident, just move more into the middle, but still to the side. And it's very important to know the course and to work out where you're going. And what we tend to do is pick out landmarks on the land. So if you're sort of swimming to a buoy, you look, well, what's behind that on the land that I might be able to see, and there might be a funny tree or a house or a roof, and you just sort of pick that out so that when you're swimming you can look up and breathe and see that is easier than seeing the buoy often.
If Emma understands the scale of the challenge that Aleksandra has taken on, it may be because her own rate of progress through triathlon's pro ranks has been rapid.
Since I finished my degree in 2007, I've been racing full-time on the circuit, so I've had sort of a season and a half. Last year I had my best season. I got 3 top 10s in World Cups and did my first World Championships and first Olympics, and I felt very privileged to be there, and the race was the hardest race I've ever done, but as it should be. I mean, it was 28 degrees I think in the water and 47 degrees on the run course, which is just so extreme, but I really enjoyed the whole process of being there and the build up to it, and being in the village and getting to meet lots of different athletes was a great experience.
I can see my destiny.